Humans have been talking since the beginning of time. Our brains are wired to speak, but they are not wired to read. That's why reading is a skill that has to be taught systematically. Children have to learn to crack the code of letters and sounds. Ohio has a new law that requires schools to use reading curriculum based on the science of reading. Why has Ohio joined more than 30 states in mandating curriculum that relies on the science of reading? The research is overwhelming that children learn to read by decoding words.
That says
Teaching children to guess words, to look at pictures for clues, and to memorize long lists of words actually teaches children how to be poor readers. The evidence is powerful that using methods like 3Qing, balanced literacy, and whole language is why reading scores have been stagnant across the United States for decades.
It vibrates, doesn't it?
In Montgomery County, almost 4 in 10 children in 3rd grade are not reading proficiently. Black children are especially being disadvantaged. 63% are not reading on grade level. Learning to read is a right, a human right, a civil right.
Science of reading is a body of research where neuroscientists and all kinds of people came together, did lots and lots of research to say, this is how kids learn to read.
The pillars of science of reading are phonological awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. In order for a child to be successful, we can't just stop at one piece of that. Decoding works hand in hand with that comprehension, and that's the big picture of how students learn. Decoding is important for students because if they can't break those words down and be able to blend those words and sound those words out, there's no way that they're going to be successful when it comes to becoming a fluent reader.
The problem with balanced literacy is it is not really teaching children how to read. It is not teaching them to look at a word and look at the different parts of the word so that when they get to 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, junior high, high school, they can look at a new word and actually have a strategy how to divide up words.
My students know that in order to read a word, they do not have time to focus on what letter it is. Instead, they need to focus on that sound. I want to make sure that my kids have the skills to look at a CVC word and instantly know how to blend those sounds together. So that's consonant, vowel, consonant. And then we also need to make sure that they can manipulate those CVC words. We can change the beginning letter or sound. We can change the middle sound and the end.
So decoding is being able to look at a word and know the phonemes. The phonemes are the sounds. The graphemes, without getting too technical, the graphemes like AI make the A sound. So if a student were to look at the word raid, they would know the R says the AI says A, and the D says D, raid. Balanced literacy does nothing like that.
So by the end of kindergarten, all of my students should be able to decode a word that has CVC words and also digraphs.
The science of reading isn't just relevant to K-3 teachers. Preschool children also need to learn what letters look like and how they sound, not through drill and kill, but by introducing fun songs and games and joining in lots of interactive reading.
So in preschool, it looks very different. We're focusing on phonological awareness, oral language development, and print awareness. There's so much more to phonological awareness than just cat sat and it rhymes. You have to make sure that you are reading rich text and asking questions to your students. And wash your children in letters. Wash your children in sounds. When you are in line and you see something, there's a door. Door, what sound do we hear?
Science of reading has made a huge impact. We see that every day when we are making sure that we are involving all those aspects of the science of reading. You'll see success.
I had 90% of my class pass our universal screener last year. I have never in my whole career had results like that.
Science of reading is the basics of helping our children become lifelong learners.
We now have our toolbox of all the things that we need to do to teach our children how to read so that they can grow up and be productive citizens of society.
Learning how to teach reading well is hard, but we have to do better. We have to catch up with the science. If children can't read, they can't possibly succeed in school, at work, or as citizens in a democracy.